the top 6 stars. Jack Elam was not pleased. William Scott was Jack Elam's birth name. On November 13, 1918, Jack Elam was born in Miami, Arizona. When Elam was growing up, America was going through the difficult Great Depression and the cultural shifts of the 1920s and 1930s. He persevered through difficult times because he was strong. His life was altered by an accident he had when he was young. In elementary school, he got into a fight with another student and lost sight in his left eye. Despite the horrific tragedy, it would become one of his most recognizable characteristics, providing him with the distinctive squint that helped him stand out on screen. It was frequently referred to as his lazy eye, and he made no effort to conceal it. Rather, he enjoyed possessing it. It eventually got ingrained in his Hollywood image. Before entering the entertainment industry, Jack Elam was a real person, a diverse existence that demonstrated his adaptability and diligence. He studied accounting at Santa Monica Junior College. Following graduation, he held positions as an inspector and bookkeeper for various businesses. Before turning to acting, Elam spent a considerable amount of time as a prosperous accountant. He gained his first taste of Hollywood life by working for large corporations and even movie studios. It wasn't until the late 1940s and early 1950s that he began writing. Decided to start taking things seriously when he was in his 30s. Elam's odd appearance, rugged demeanor, and clear eye condition made him stand out. He was immediately recognized by casting directors as a perfect villain for the grittier crime stories and westerns of the era. When Elam was cast as one of Hollywood's most well-known villains in the 1950s, his career went off, which was fantastic. He portrayed villains, gunfighters, and unscrupulous criminals whose ominous presence might rapidly establish the mood of a place. He established himself as a dependable supporting actor in Western classics Rawhide, 1951, and High Noon, 1952, two of his earliest and most well-known films. He stood out in a way that people would never forget because of his rugged features, squinting eyes, and coarse voice. He was a Western heavy, the sort of bandit who didn't require much of an introduction. People knew that horrible things were going to happen just by watching him on television. Jack Elam has both excellent and terrible qualities. He began playing more humorous roles in the 1960s and 1970s, proving to Hollywood that he was capable of much more than only portraying villains. His timing, facial expressions, and ability to mock his frightening appearance made him an excellent comedian. One of his most well-known roles was in the 1974 satire Western Blazing Saddles, directed by Mel Brookie. He made a memorable appearance during the film's final fight sequence. Elam had a lighter part in films such as Support Your Local Sheriff, 1969, and Support Your Local Gunfighter, 1971, but his comedy was as strong as it had been in earlier scary performances. He demonstrated that celebrities with a reputation for being rough may adapt and succeed in a variety of film genres. Many individuals watched television as well. Elam's professional life. He appeared in numerous Western television series, including Cheyenne, Bonanza, Have Gun Will Travel, and Gunsmoke. Following that, he contributed his own flair to the television series Dakotas and Temple Houston, and co-starred in the hit series Alias Smith and Jones. The comedy series Easy Street, in which he co-starred with Lonnie Anderson and Julie Harris, helped him gain popularity among younger audiences in the 1980s. How he evolved from people of all ages, from little toddlers to the elderly, loved him. Off-screen, Jack Elam was regarded as a kind, humorous, and everyday man, in stark contrast to the villains he portrayed. Co-stars and friends frequently remarked on how witty, kind, and eager to share tales of the good old days of Hollywood. He was described as a genuine professional whose demeanor and performances could light up a stage. Over his extensive career, few character actors could surpass Elam's legacy, which included performances in over 200 films and television series. Because he could hold people's interest whether he was frightening them with his gunslinger skills or making them laugh with his comedic timing, he rose to become one of the most well-known and adaptable performers of his era. In his private life, Jack Elam was married to 2 significant people. His private life was impacted by these marriages, which also provided him with stability in his frequently erratic Hollywood career. The work. His first wife was Jean-Louise Hayert. They met in 1937, long before Elam rose to prominence as one of Hollywood's most well-known character actors. Elam was still a young guy at the time, attempting to determine his place in the world. He found stability and direction in his marriage to Jean. During their nearly 25 years of marriage, they experienced all of life's highs and lows together. including the difficult years before Elam rose to fame as an actor. Early in the 1950s and late in the 1940s, the couple's 24-year marriage is highly exceptional in Hollywood, where the strain of fame and never-ending labor often leads to divorces. Their time together ended tragically on January 24, 1961, when Jean passed away from colorectal cancer. Elam's death was a devastating blow because she had been a pillar of support during his early years and career setbacks. After Jean passed away, Elam's personal life was empty, and even after he moved on, he would always feel that way. Proceed. Despite his sadness, Elam didn't spend much time by himself. 7 months after Jean's death in August 1961, he remarried, this time to Margaret M. Jennison. The speed at which he remarried may have seemed odd to some, but for Elam, who had been in a committed relationship for the majority of his adult life, having a friend was crucial. Margaret inspired him. She supported him during the height of his sporting career and helped him maintain emotional stability. Elam was in great demand in the early 1960s and appeared in numerous TV series and films. He was well known for portraying bizarre characters that audiences adored, such as colorful villains and inebriated people. Margaret was there for everything, despite the challenges of being married to a guy whose job forced him to travel frequently and put in long hours on set. Jack and Margaret's marriage endured through both the exhilarating and less exciting periods of his career, which is different from the brief partnerships that are typical in Hollywood. It was successful. Their remarkable 42-year marriage demonstrates how close they were to one another and how successfully they crafted a life together. The couple led a contented, low-key life throughout this period, particularly as they grew older and less active. Elam made the decision to work less and spend more time at home. Their enduring bond demonstrated their affection for one another, and Jack's need for stability following a profession that was constantly changing. Jack Elam as a person and Jack Elam as an actor were very different. The lonely roles he portrayed on TV were a far cry from his friendship and love for Margaret. It wasn't because they broke up that their marriage dissolved, or a breakup, but Jack's gone. Elam passed away from congestive heart disease on October 20th, 2003, at their Ashland, Oregon home. Over 40 years have passed since their marriage. An incredible life and body of work came to an end with his death. One of the most significant aspects of his life narrative was the end of his marriage to Margaret. She had supported him through both good and bad moments during their decades-long collaboration. They had established a life founded on strength, love, and trust. Ultimately, Jack Elam's 2 marriages demonstrate the value of friendship in his life, as well as how he handled loss and rebirth. This theme is just as poignant as any role he has ever portrayed on cinema. Jack Elam was a man of strong character, in addition to being a fantastic Western character actor, renowned for his characteristic lazy eye, frightful appearance, and surprisingly adaptable comedy timing. Opinions about the other players. Although he was candid, and occasionally rather cruel, about the players he didn't like, Elam is remembered by many as being witty and amiable behind the scenes. He experienced personal and professional issues with several of his co-stars and close friends during the course of his lengthy career, which spanned more than 50 years. The 6 actors he reportedly detested the most are examined in detail here, along with Elam's scathing remarks about each of them, quotes that offer a unique glimpse into his innermost thoughts regarding his acquaintances in Hollywood. One is Gary Cooper. Elam and Gary Cooper clearly didn't get along. Elam thought Cooper was haughty and conceited, despite the fact that he was one of the most well-known and popular actors of his era. Cooper believed he was superior to everyone else on the set, he said. He spoke extensively about his work on westerns, where the crew's willingness to cooperate was at odds with Cooper's detached demeanor. He'd just glare at you like you were a mosquito buzzing near his ear, Elam stated. You'd stand there on a dusty set trying to catch a cue. I wanted to slam my hat into him, because he believed that Cooper's haughtiness frequently detracted from the efforts of talented character actors who were crucial to creating memorable films. He didn't like the way Cooper treated supporting players. Cooper was so well known that few people dared to confront him. However, Elam didn't hold back in private chats because he never concealed his feelings. John Wayne, number 2. Elam had conflicting feelings of admiration and dislike for John Wayne, despite the fact that many Western performers looked up to him. Although he appreciated Wayne's charisma and capacity to draw large audiences, he disapproved of what he perceived to be Wayne's conceit and controlling demeanor on set. According to Elam, He looked at you like you had just broken the law by blinking too slowly. Elam felt that Wayne's performances occasionally detracted from the roles of other actors, which is why he disliked when Wayne would take over scenes. Although Wayne was the ideal Hollywood cowboy in Elam's eyes, he also represented a rigid, nearly authoritarian style of acting that inhibited originality. 3 is Marlon Brando. Elam disliked Marlon Brando for the following reasons, based on Brando's initially erratic and frequently obnoxious demeanor. In the morning, Brando could alter the entire sequence if he so desired. Elam once stated, "As a seasoned actor used to structure and professionalism, I found Brando's improvisational genius annoying when it slowed down filming." Despite his admiration for Brando's skill, he was annoyed by his lack of training. Working with Brando was like navigating a minefield, he added, where anything might happen at any time. Number 4 is Steve McQueen. Elam was also not a big fan of Steve McQueen. People referred to him as the king of cool. Particularly during action sequences and stunts, he believed McQueen to be aloof and self-centered. Elam stated, "You're supposed to work as a team," but he insisted on doing everything his way, as if the whole set were there for his big jump or chase scene. It grew stale very fast. Despite her charm and brilliance, McQueen felt underutilized or ignored in moments that required the entire cast to cooperate, which is why Elam disliked her. 5. Kirk Douglas. Kirk Douglas was disliked by Elam for personal reasons rather than his work. Although he frequently questioned what he perceived to be Douglas's harshness and perseverance, he did commend Douglas's commitment to his profession. Drive. To obtain a better close-up, that guy would push an entire crew away. Elam joked. He believed that on settings where collaboration should have been the primary objective, Douglas's unrelenting determination occasionally went too far and created stress and anxiety. Number 6 is Elizabeth Taylor. The last person on the list was Elizabeth Taylor. It was common for people of legendary charm and beauty to be perceived as difficult to deal with. Elam was blunt in his statement. "You would have to use caution if you tried to work with her when she wasn't feeling up to par. You may believe that the cameras are against you." He was worn out by her diva-like behavior and mood swings. Despite his admiration for her on television, he believed that working with her would try his patience. Endurance. An intriguing look into the inner workings of Hollywood may be seen in Jack Elam's list of actors whom people dislike. It demonstrates how even the most talented actors may evoke powerful feelings in their colleagues. His remarks, which are frequently humorous and honest, highlight how challenging it is for well-known individuals to collaborate and set aside their personal interests in the film industry. Elam's ability to support and enhance films without seeking attention was essential to his career. His critiques of these celebrities demonstrate that, when it came to acting professionally, having personality conflicts, and acting out of character, even a well-known character actor had boundaries. This very moment,